Test, test, test. Looks like we're good to go. Hey, everybody. Hope you guys have all been having a good day. I know Bitcoin had a really, really rough day today. We'll be talking about that, what happened, and what the charts look like now because things, again, are changing quite rapidly. I wanted to go live earlier today, but my mom's back in the hospital, so I was helping her out with that. Loki says hello if you guys can see him. So my next few days are going to be kind of wonky, just like today and yesterday were. But hope you guys all had a good day. Sorry about the little bit of stuff about not being able to go live today, although I don't really have to apologize for that, but you get what I'm saying. I'll try next time. And hey, Michael, hey, Nicholas, hope you guys are both doing well. And yeah, as far as what we've been seeing with this stuff with the SEC, you know, the SEC itself is kind of being very stupid at this point just because they just know they're losing and they're trying to delay. And I think you're right, that delay does help out with the timing of the halving. But at this point, you know, what happens if they keep on trying to delay even past that because it's just getting crazier and crazier and crazier. So, a few things here today. If you guys just go look at SEC or search for SEC on Twitter, or X, I don't know what to call it these days, but probably just X. You guys are going to see a few different things. Usually what I would go after is what's been going on with Watch a Guru. He's really been the person on top of all this. Maybe I'll just scroll down through his here. All right, there you go. So over the last few hours, let's be frank, Bitcoin got hammered for all the good stuff we saw over the past few days. All of it just finished like that. Bitcoin, not really in any crazy danger because we're just back to where we were a few days ago. Altcoins, on the other hand, a lot more danger there, and that overall downward trend that we've been talking about as far as those lesser known altcoins, you know, like the Doge coins and stuff like that, but the lesser known ones, they've been really taking a hit here for the last few months, okay? And hey, Chef, hey, Larry, hope you guys are doing okay. And Chef, yeah, I'm glad you took your profits. There's a reason why I say take your profits when I do. And which why I was kind of concerned about buying into the market. But that's only because, remember, I have my own personal MACD settings, and I'll go over that in a little bit. That MACD hadn't crossed over yet, so I was maybe just a little bit more hesitant here as far as larger trades. I did some smaller trades, and they all got... So that wasn't good, though. But here we go. Watch a Guru just in. The SEC delays decision for BlackRock spot ETF. That wasn't good news right there. Then below that, the SEC delays Valkyrie, Wisdom Tree, Invesco spot Bitcoin ETF applications. Now, not denying them, just delaying them. But what do you call it? It's definitely been rough. And hey, Larry, happy to see you back as well. And then you got right here. Just in, U.S. court calls Bitcoin and ETH commodities while dismissing a lawsuit against Uniswap DeFi platform. There you go. Got something else going on right here. So it was just a news-packed day based off of everything we've seen with the courts. The courts really... hit us hard today. Not even just the courts. Sorry, not the courts. The SEC. I think of something else. The SEC really hit us hard today. And let me just go over here to maybe like the 15-minute chart so you can kind of see what happened here. I mean, we all talked about. I think last night before I signed off, or maybe it was the day before. Was it last night? No, I think it was last night. I was talking to you guys about, hey, if we enter back into the support zone, this would be a place where I would like to buy it. Okay, and what happened? We ended up actually coming back up after we came in here. We came up for a little bit of a spike, but then what happened? Boom. We just got decimated by bad news, and we broke through all the support levels. It wasn't even a pretty breakdown, right? Hey, Knucklebuster, hope you're doing well. And all of a sudden, we're back down to where we were just Tuesday. That was the craziest 2-day turnaround I've ever seen in the crypto markets here. This is usually something you see in the height of a bull market where like we have a huge day, and then the following day we just give like half of it, 75, even 100% of the big move back down. We're not used to seeing moves like this, guys, so things are getting a little bit more choppy. The whales definitely did not want this thing to pop back up, but we managed to get back up. We managed to hold support for a few hours, and then news comes in, SEC comes in, and we just lost all of that momentum. Now, as I kind of back up here for a few seconds, let me just go over here to the daily chart. My big reason for wanting to buy, if you guys are looking for a reason to buy after this pump before the drop came down, was, hey, just keep an eye on to see what happens if we can break out this trend line right here, then maybe we can stay within this trend. And then, you know, at least we have like a low of 25,000, 26,000. We can buy around these levels and maybe sell around $28,000 to $30,000 and kind of rinse and repeat, kind of like how we've been doing over here. You know, you buy a low, sell high, buy a low, had that nice little pop right there. That trend is what we're really looking for. Now, that trend is still fine, But what have I been talking about for the past few months now, it feels like, is, no, it's been like a month and a half, I think, since I've been really bringing this up. Oscillators, 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 all coming down here a little bit more. Damn it, fucking. I've been leaving my windows open, trying to get some fresh air in here because the other day I smoked a cigar, and I've been loving smoking cigars again. It's been freaking great since my tooth hasn't been healed up. And flies get in. And then so what I've been doing is I've been killing them or slapping them, and then I've been lighting them on fire with my lighter because it has a little jetpack. Let's see. Yeah, so it's been pretty fun. But I hate flies. I absolutely hate flies. I normally don't have flies. I think September is like the buggiest, or August and September are the buggiest times of year for Washington. Because I've noticed I've had these spiders like that big in my house, and it's been fucking terrifying. Anyway, oscillators, 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 momentum, momentum, momentum. What's going on here as far as momentum? Let me just get rid of all this stuff very fast. And what do we have? We have that death cross that just happened between the 20-day and the 200 daily moving averages here. We really didn't talk about that one too much. We were more talking about this one, which kind of doesn't bode well because we hadn't had one for a while, right? That usually brings us down. Well, now we have that first time in a long time, 20-day moving average crossing below the 200. Now, that is not the reason we fell. That was a technical reason showing, hey, we're probably looking at more of a downside, but as we talked about in the past, good news is good news, and that can really push the market back up higher. But last time the 20-day has crossed down below the 200 was all the way back over here in December of 2021. It never happened in 2022. It's been over a year since we've actually seen that happen. In fact, since it happened over here, it's been about 603 days, okay? So that's not really a good sign here, but, you know, historically, you know, we've had it happen before, and, you know, it doesn't always mean we're going to like COVID lows or anything like that. It usually just means something bad is happening. My big concern is like, look at all these times it's happened. We end up having a whole new cycle of going low. We're not used to having this prolonged bear market type of situation here. I'm still calling it a bear market. Maybe some people, I know Tom's calling it a bull market, so who knows? So that's one thing. And of course, before I skip over this, at this point, it's almost a certainty that we are going to have a death cross here between the 50 and the 200. That's starting a whole another cycle here. I wish it wasn't the case, because again, we haven't had that happen since January of 2022. It's been that long since we've had that really nasty move. Let's go back over here to weeklies. And weeklies, it looks like at this point, it's most definite that we're going to be breaking down and having a death cross between the 20 and the 200. My best guess, since all this news kept on killing us, and I don't know if we're going to have good news or bad news, if we don't have any more good news or something like that, I think we're probably just going to have a tap on this 50-week moving average sometime in September, maybe next week, maybe the week after, where we have a plummet of about 2,000 points from where we are now. That can happen over multiple days, of course. And then we'll probably try to find some support around 24,000. Right now, $25,000 seems to be the support that I think most people are kind of happy with. Right down here, right around here. That seems to be it. You can imagine almost like a large order block that kind of extends from back here behind my head, kind of going all the way over there. You know, it's where we're at right now. I'm pretty sure, you know, we're most likely going to break down and even go below that, but I'm hoping it's more of a wick event than an actual, like, hey, let's break down really fast and we're like staying there for weeks and weeks and weeks. I'm hoping it's not as bad. And hey, Deval, hope you're doing well. I would say it's safe to day trade. I'd be careful about swing trading. The news is really driving the markets right now, and the technicals can be great, but if the news comes in and pow, we're kicked. We're kicked. Definitely got to be careful right now. I did not think the SEC still had this much power over the markets here. You know, when they lose, I think it's, you know, the market gets a pump, and I can understand that because that means that progress is being made. But when we see the SEC just delay, it's, you know, you see the whales and the bears take full advantage of that and just send the prices going down, down, down. And hey, Jonathan, happy to see you back, my man. And so one of the things I've been looking at, as you guys know, is the oscillators. I love this little oscillator chart now. I just have it on for when I'm talking with you guys. The oscillator that we've been looking at here is the MACD. That MACD had a crossover, right? This isn't my personal MACD. My personal MACD is this one that hasn't had the crossover yet. It's really good for not falling for false signals. But that's just because I'm adding lag onto it, which sometimes make it so I don't actually get the whole large move, but I get to have more confidence that when I do buy it, it usually works out okay. We don't have that move right there on the daily chart just now, so that kind of bummed me out. Over here, Stochastic even fell for it. The squeeze didn't fall for it yet because it still has that downward momentum here. But you are seeing some, I don't know, you want to call it fake outs or whatnot. Going back over here to the longer term oscillators, we just had that crossover here. So I'm really thinking that we're probably going to have a larger move down, and I'm thinking at least to 25,000. Maybe you could buy there if you wanted to. Probably going to come down a little bit more than that, but we'll have to wait and see. Stochastic is having its bearish move here as well. And then we're also having the squeeze indicator. It hasn't showed that the squeeze is releasing, but you do see that we've actually turned into more of a negative momentum here. Just over the last couple weeks. You know, we'll wait and see how it goes, but I'm not really optimistic here about what's going on. Maybe you could even think of this as some type of really ugly double top-ish area where we're about to break down, and that breakdown sent us all the way back down here to 21,500 levels. That's more of a bearish look, I could say, you know, but that would end up being like a very bearish September where we're just making our way back down here towards $22,000. If we get a chance, that's why I'd really be liking to buy up a lot of altcoins specifically, because what we've been talking about over the past few weeks is Bitcoin doing okay, Ethereum doing okay, like Dogecoin doing okay, XRP doing okay, but not as much. But altcoins really coming down hard. And so you can see Bitcoin, we're just back to where we were June 2023, okay? Let's zoom in here a little bit. This is a weekly chart. Ethereum, right? It's lower, right? That's because it's not big. It's, well, I guess technically Ethereum is an altcoin, but, you know, we make it seem more like it's closer to Bitcoin. But what's it holding? It's holding the 50-day and the 200 daily moving averages. Once that breaks down, it's coming all the way back down to maybe 1,500 to maybe 1,400s range. That's the dollar index. ADA, right? Back over here to the June levels. It's probably going to break down here even more. Dogecoin, back down to where it is. Still kind of steady. Dogecoin just goes steady, but we're making lower highs, which is not a good thing. XRP. Excuse me, guys. Ooh. XRP is about to break down here. Maybe, oh, I'm on a weekly chart. That's why everything's like this. It's about to break down, and once we do, we're probably coming all the way down here to 46 cents or so. Not going to be good. Ape token, I mean, June was over here, so it's well down below that. AVAX, June is over here. It's lower than that. Kind of coming back over here to those crash levels, but making new lows. AXS, bad. Bitcoin Cash had a big pop a few weeks ago. This is going to be something I'd buy a long-term shorts on. This is something I really just want to open up a short and just let it sit for a few months and see how far it goes down. Maybe I would probably end the short if it went down to at least 130 or levels or so. Maybe take half profit off of it or something. But I'll come back to that later on. Matic, not looking as good right now, right? So a lot of the coins that had those really big rallies, they've been losing a lot of steam. BNB broke down below the 200 weekly moving average a few weeks ago. Couldn't even get back above that. That's some of the stuff we're looking at as far as the altcoin markets. The altcoins are definitely not that good, right? Kind of just going through a few of them. Not looking too good. Not looking good. Even Litecoin's not looking good. It broke down out of that uptrend here. Only thing really keeping a lot of this stuff alive is Bitcoin. So my big thing here, if I want you guys to sorry guys, I've been distracted today. The big thing here is if Bitcoin does want to take that next level down, you're probably not going to be crying over Bitcoin going down a couple percent. You will be crying over altcoins going down another 10 to 20%. And I think that's the real big concern here. Bitcoin dominance is probably going to continue to grow at these levels just because Bitcoin's doing fine and the altcoins are not. I think the one thing that kind of gives us a little bit of hope here going forward is that the overall economy is still okay. We'll have to wait and see how the market kind of feels out this following week. You know, the first week of September kind of gives us an idea of if things are going to be really negative or just kind of status quo, or maybe we're looking at some really good news. Today I was watching earnings on CNBC and Bloomberg. They were mixed. There wasn't as many good things as I thought, but they weren't like all really terrible earnings. Okay, even Intel had a good day, Lululemon had an okay day, Broadcom had a bad day. So you know, it was more mixed results here. Now, Nasdaq. Remember what I told you guys, especially if you guys are in the membership chat. Pop. We're waiting for this one right here. I'll make a video on it later on. We're waiting for the top off somewhere around here, and then we're going to buy some puts as we kind of continue on this lower trend right there where we have those lower highs. Dow Jones coming down today a lot more. Nasdaq actually had a pretty good day. The Dow Jones did not. This is what we were hoping for on the Nasdaq. SPY doing the same thing, coming back down a little bit, but it did open up higher, so we had a new high for this day, you know, compared to yesterday. But those oscillators, just like we've been talking about, they're also coming down as well. Now, a few things. I made a video about this, but it's nothing too big for you guys right now. Oil prices are getting higher. We're starting to break back above that trend right here. Just be careful. If gas prices try to soar right as Labor Day, you know, everybody going back to college, people having to drive their kids back to school again, what you guys are going to see is probably a push up towards $93, $94. You know, we're at $83 now. That's enough to really screw with inflation just a tad bit, okay? So we'll be watching that a little bit more. And have a good day, Chef. See you a little bit later. Have fun at work. And hey, Haram, hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing okay. My mom's at the emergency room again. I'm going to go visit her after this. Her back is really messing with her, so she can't even, like, get into her car or get out of bed. So I've been dealing with that for the last few days, and today she finally said, like, you know, let's just go back to the hospital, because she went once when she could still walk, and they gave her some pills, but now it's, like, really, really bad. So my mind has definitely been on that over the past 12 hours or something. But yeah, it's okay. Worst case, no lower than 16K Bitcoin. 10K seems impossible by this point. Hades, I mean, it's still possible, but what we need to have is a full recession in order to get to that lower level, okay? So when we're talking about Bitcoin, I best go to the Coinbase one, because that, you know, has the longer term charts. Okay, we go over here to the monthly charts, right? Throughout this real history of Bitcoin, I know it's kind of choppy over here. I just want you guys to see what I kind of can see. You know, the recession was in 2008, 2009, kind of over here. 2010, Bitcoin kind of comes into picture. We've been in such a good financial spot, you know, good economic spot for the country, really all through here. As far as like the stock market and things like that, I know the everyday people kind of thing, they're not too good. Things really didn't start popping off, I think, until 2015, 2016, 2017. That's kind of over here. But let's go back over here very fast. Why is my magnet not working? There we go. We ran into that large level of support. We bounced right off of it. At this point, what I'm thinking is, again, this is maybe a more mild bearish theory, I guess. We probably come back down in here and make some type of lower high off of that, maybe somewhere around here, who knows? And then we keep on going. Now, I think that's probably most likely. If you're looking at this chart, you're going to see the first monthly death cross between the 20 and the 50 ever. Never happened before. Going to be kind of scary to see what happens after that. The more bearish situation, I guess, is if we go into something more of a full recession. And that recession, in theory, would probably last for a year, you know, because then we have the 2 negative quarters of GDP growth. Then we got to wait for the 2 positive quarters, and hopefully we could just have 2 negative quarters, then 2 positive quarters. That'd make life a lot easier. But if that was to occur, then we start breaking down below this level, and then we find that next level of support is really down here, like around 6,000. You got a smaller one right here at 9,000. I don't think we would come all the way down here to 6,000, 7,000. That seems really low because of all the Bitcoin ETFs and stuff. I would say at worst at this point, maybe $10,000 is where we could go. And you know, that's like a recession. And then within the recession, Binance goes down or KuCoin goes down, something of that magnitude. So it's possible, but not likely, I would say. And I think, yeah, I agree with you there. It's definitely just not likely right there. There we go, back over here. Because on the other hand, you see all these other things like see the Dow Jones over here. We're about to have that death cross show up somewhere in November. It looks like maybe even next year. We normally don't have those crossovers too often. 2000 kind of bubble-ish area. There's not as much tech on the Dow, right? 2008 financial crisis. It always kind of lags that big first drop though, because they are monthly moving averages. So this might indicate that, hey, maybe we might actually have a drop closer to the end of this year. But to be honest, this economy is so weird because we have so much stimulus in the economy. The government has passed so many stimulus bills that like we're pumping like tens and tens of billions of dollars into hundreds of billions into chips, tech stuff. We're pouring trillions of dollars into infrastructure. We're pouring another $1 trillion into social programs and stuff like that. We're printing money here, folks, and that money, it keeps the economy going. It just also causes problems like inflation, where people can't really afford as much stuff. But the economy is still chugging. Still chugging. But you can see over here, Nasdaq's about to have that same death cross here pretty soon. I don't think people care about it too much, honestly, because it's such a lagging indicator, right? It's a big lagging indicator. And we're so high up that when it does eventually come, I mean, we might even just be maybe below 14,000, maybe 13,000, maybe. But we could always keep on pumping because of the AI bubble that's kind of forming right now. SPY right now at 4,500. I mean, I guess go to 450, but what do you call them? It's out. It's also right there. So traditionally not so good. The weird thing about this is you can see that going into like the history of the SPY, like, really long time ago, it's rare that we ever have the moving averages, maybe except for in 32, but that was its own crazy time. We normally don't have the monthly moving averages crossing over each other too much. Maybe the 20 and the 50, but like the 70s, really bad economic time. Over here, 2009, bad economic time. This would suggest, if we're looking on this particular one, it wouldn't happen until like 2025. So there's a whole bunch of different ways you could read into this. I'm still guessing that we're going to go into a recession sometime soon-ish. I guess at this point, maybe 2024-ish. But who knows how long, because there comes a certain point where, hey, the Nasdaq's going up, whoop-de-doo, but then you see retailers and retailers like, let me go to weekly chart. Nasdaq doing fine, but retailers like Macy, oh, shit in the bed big time, right? Wasn't there another one? Disney, I think it was, Disney. Oh, where's Disney USA? Oh, there it is. Disney's shit in the bed, waiting for it to have a breakout, but Disney's back at COVID levels, like not high COVID levels, but like it's lower than where it was before COVID, so to speak. Okay, so it's back down to where it was during the 2020 COVID crash, market crash. So the way money is flowing is very deceiving, because if you're not really in one of those really mega stocks that everybody's pouring their money into, you're not really doing too well. I mean, I guess the oil stocks have still been working out, but I've been telling you guys I'm in oil forever. This isn't oil, it's financial services. Oxy over here, right? They're still doing fine. I mean, they're not like growing, I guess, but you hold on to these more for their dividends, not so much because you just want it to go sky high. Although with oil prices going in the way they are, you might actually see some of these oil stocks make a big boom here over the next few weeks. Oh, I forgot that goes to zero now. There we go. All right, so oil could be heading for like 93 bucks a barrel, which that'll put some pressure on some people, let me tell you. There we go. Okay, let's go back over to the hourly chart. There we go. And you can see all that momentum we had, it just died back down so quickly. And hey, Mr. Tanker, happy to see you back. And hey, Ken, hope you're doing well. Excuse me. And hey, Jonathan, thanks. I appreciate it. My mom should be better. I'm going to visit her after the stream is over. Go spend some time with her for a couple hours, and then I'm going to tomorrow visit her again. I'm going to go get her some broccoli cheddar soup from Panera Bread so she can relax a little bit. Because normally when my mom ends up going to the hospital, it's because her kidneys are messing up, or she's not feeling well for like some type of pill, like these pills aren't working together or something like that. Now she's in there for like actually back pain. So her phosphorus levels aren't off, her blood sugar levels aren't off. Everything is fine on that regard, which is really good. But her back is messed up. So that means I can give her some good tasting food, because if you guys have ever been to the hospital, I've been there a couple times in my life, not really many. Hospital food is bleh. To be honest, we might not get a recession. If Trump back in office, he'll probably buy a lot of stuff, especially McDonald's. What do you call? I don't even know if Trump's gonna make it to like election day. Like, the system is going after him hard. Yeah, the system is going after him hard. I don't know if he's gonna be able to withstand it. He might be able to, but I just don't know. I mean, like, he has power and wealth, so I guess he might be able to withstand it. But like, maybe like everyday Joes, you know, I don't know how they get out of this. And when the system cracks down on you, which I guess we never really had this like political crackdown style before, it'll mess with you. It'll really mess with you there. If China's economy and housing market gets worse, will that affect Bitcoin? Yes, to a certain degree. Not everybody in China really trades Bitcoin all too much. They've kind of banned it in certain waves over the past few years. What I would say is, as their system goes down, it really drags America's system down, and that has a larger impact on Bitcoin. So it isn't like a straight China to Bitcoin, although that it can have a small impact. It's really China to America to Bitcoin, because we're really relying on China to figure out their economic problems and keep the world kind of, the growth still going. I mean, they're not even telling us all their data anymore, so like we don't really know what's going on. They stopped reporting their unemployment rate for like their 25 to 35-year-old population or something like that. So, you know, if they're choosing not to share it, that means it must be very, very bad. And you know, at the same time, America and China are entering this economic Cold War, where I would say Trump kind of started the Cold War because they were stealing our intellectual property. They were ticking us off too much. And then, you know, Trump started this cycle of, hey, why don't you just leave China and go somewhere else? You know, what's the purpose of being there? And you get cheap labor. You can find cheap labor all over the place these days. Go to Africa, go to India, you know. And now Biden continued on to that strategy. Biden actually said it was a dumb strategy back in the election cycle, but once you're in office, things change. You got to be more, you know, heavy-handed. And, you know, it's having an impact on China. I mean, China asked for it. They deserve it. The proper term right now is de-risking. I guess that's the word. So instead of opening a plant or having a plant in China, why not just have a plant in India? You can train the workforce to be just like the Chinese workforce. It's not too hard. It's very cheap labor, just like China, much cheaper than what you have in the United States. And so companies are doing that, and China is suffering because of it, because a lot of those jobs would be there for like the lower income people of China. And, you know, that's just the way it is. On the other hand, you have the BRICS countries now coming into play, which are kind of they're not necessarily anti-America, but they're anti-West. And I think there's been a false narrative out there that they're trying to make their own reserve currency that somehow is overpowering the dollar. That's not really their goal. That's not how you take down the dollar in theory. What they're going to do is say, hey, instead of trading with the US dollar, it's like, you know, international commerce with the US dollar, we're going to use our own currencies. And thereby have they're going to be less reliant on the dollar. And if the dollar isn't being used as much, it definitely becomes less valuable, so to speak, right? So if China's not using it with Russia, or China's not using it with India, or India's not using it with Brazil, and they're just using their own currencies, that means less American dollars are being circulated around the system. And that's definitely not a good thing for the actual dollar. But yeah, we'll have to live through it, I guess. It's not going to be some type of crazy disaster that happens in the next couple of years. It's going to be death by 1,000 cuts. And then within that time, America is going to have the opportunity to figure out a way to respond, and then we'll force the West to kind of go along with us. Because right now, Europe is about to get hit hard. This, I don't know if you guys have been really, but what's been going on in Africa, following what's been going on in Africa, but Africa has been having coup after coup after coup after coup. And let me go over to this chart. 5 minute. There you go. They've been going with a lot of coups lately, and you know, this last coup was the coup in Gabon. So this is Gabon right here. It's an oil-rich nation, right? A lot of oil, but it's by Cameroon, Nigeria. According to Ancestry, this is kind of where I come from. Maybe somewhere over here. I think I'm also like 10% British or something. I'm like 15% Spanish. I got a lot of shit in me. But what do you call, it's by the Republic of the Congo, okay? In the Democratic Republic of the Congo. I can't make this shit up, guys. You know, I don't know. Europeans drew these maps to be looking really freaking weird. But okay, you got this area over here. If I just go back over there to Gabon. Okay, let me just go to search Google for Gabon. There you go. Is there a good story? There's not really. I don't like the New York Times. I don't like CNN. I don't like Bloomberg too much, but. No, because I got to pay for it. See, that's why I don't like about Bloomberg. Al Jazeera. There you go. Okay, here we go. So let me get this very fast. What does Gabon's coup mean regionally and internationally? Why there has been yet another coup in Africa, and why the response in the African states? I won't go too deep into this. Oh, that's all it is. Okay. But basically, there's a whole bunch of former French territories that have been kind of abused, if you will, by Europe. So basically, this is like the standard story of all emerging markets, right? A country that's very poor, they have this really rich resource. In Gabon, it's oil. Other places, it's gold, emeralds, whatever, diamonds, whatever. Instead of those countries having the resources and manpower to build up their own production lines and how do I say you know, their own production and, you know, sell all those really nice diamonds and stuff out of the country, they're not able to do that because they don't have the money to do so. So a company from America goes in, or a company from Europe goes in, and say, hey, we want to buy all the rights to all the oil in your country, like Shell gas station comes in or something. And they'll say, hey, okay, and we'll give you so much money. But the money that they're paying for it is so low compared to where it should be. And because of that, you'll see oil tycoons or oil companies end up like bribing basically the politicians of a country to say, hey, we'll give you some kickbacks of a couple $1 million, a few like $20 million, $10 million. We'll give you some money here if you just let us have all the oil, basically, which means that the people in the country, who the people are technically elected to serve, if you even want to call it an election, you know, they don't have better lives. And then they get really ticked off. And then the military gets really ticked off because they're not getting the handouts that the politicians are getting. And so when they have this coup, that means the oil from Gabon stops flowing. In Niger, that means the uranium from Niger stops flowing into Europe. And Europe sucks in a lot of stuff. Remember, the only way that Europe can say that they're so pro-environment, so pro-this, so pro-that, is because they're getting a lot of their resources not from within their own countries. They're getting it from imports. And if you import heavily, it's very hard to keep prices at reasonable levels if the people that you're like getting your resources from all of a sudden like, hey, we don't want to give you any more of our resources, go find somebody else. That means the price will go up for the people inside those countries or the European Union as a block, right? So there's a lot of confusion going on. I don't know if you guys saw Emmanuel Macron. Let me find this video here very fast. Oh my God, he is. Macron wants America to go into war against Niger to help them out because they really need those resources over there. But again, all that Europe has, like with the moral authority, same with America's moral authority, we can't just be sending troops in to take over African countries and install our own people in there. It's like the worst look for us. It's like colonialism, 2023. It would just be so bad. Let's see right here. Oh, and thanks, Dees, for getting the spam out of here. Do you think that's bad or blown out of proportion? What do you call it? It's kind of blown out of proportion. I think what happened as far as today's market, it was just the bad news kind of counteracted the good news, and all of a sudden we just went right back to where we were before we had the good news. That's basically what just happened here. How much did you pay for your mother hospital anyway? It seems expensive. You're a good man, bro. It adds up a little bit, but it's not as much as you would think, I guess, just because the state helps out a little bit. Usually what I help my mom out is all the aftercare stuff, all the pre-care stuff. Like, if we're talking cost, like, if my mom's in the hospital for, I don't know, like a week, I will usually buy her food for the whole week. So it'll be like fast food, or not fast food, but you know, like takeout food or restaurant food, good food. It could just be vegetable, like steamed vegetables for all I know, if she wants it. I'll give her my credit card so she can get whatever she wants to. I'll take time out of my day. It's usually like a time cost to me because I want to be with my mother at the hospital. I'll have to watch my little sister while she does stuff. You know, make sure everything's still working with her. And then, you know, hospital bills, though. It's not like the end of the world. But yeah, hospitals in America are expensive. We'll just leave it. We'll leave it at that. Let's see. Macron, Niger. Oh no, I can't find the video of it. No, it's all stories, not actually like the video of the speech. But basically, he was railing. He's pissed off because France is getting a very bad look right now based off of how the international community is kind of viewing him. France wants to go to war. Nobody wants to go to war within Africa. It would be the stupidest look possible. It would just look so bad because, you know, colonial powers are not really liked in certain parts of the world for pretty obvious reasons, I guess. But yeah, it's pretty darn bad right now. China and Disney have the same problem. Instead of focusing on making profit, good products and services, they start to focus on politics. Yeah, I mean, China is a little bit different than Disney. I would say Disney's really shit the bed. China is going to have a much easier time fixing its problems than Disney. I think at this point, Disney is doubled down on kind of like the culture wars, so it's more of an international thing. China, at the end of the day, if China starts getting more, they start having more domestic problems, I guess you could say, they still can crack down and punish people that rebel against the state and send them to jail and stuff like that. Disney is not going to be forcing anybody to watch their movies and stuff like that. Although I say China, they have time to fix their problems, but they need to fix them sooner rather than later. I don't think they thought Trump would actually go after them as hard as he did. I think that's one of the reasons that Putin waited to go to war in Ukraine until Joe Biden. I think that kind of Afghanistan blunder that we had a few years ago. You know, these things all have consequences, and world leaders kind of have to think about a lot of stuff. And even if you don't like Xi Jinping or Putin, you know, they're politicians in their own right. They're leaders or in their own right, and they're looking for the best opportunity to make some progress in whatever goals they're hoping to attain, right? Because if you think about it, most countries in the global, like West, like all Western countries, even like the Europe, like the Eastern European ones, like, you know, the Russia's in decline a lot. China's in decline a decent amount. America's in decline just a tad. You know, really the people in America are struggling a lot, but same with most other countries right now. We're kind of in this weird spot historically, so I don't know how it's going to end. But, you know, you could already tell that people are getting maybe a little bit more reserved or not liking sending as much money to Ukraine as of late. And I wonder if how's that going to work out in the future? Because if Trump does come back into office, Ukraine's going to kind of be left on its own. Ukraine is... I don't know. Ukrainians that I've seen online usually don't like black people, so I really just have no like sympathy for them, honestly. I still remember the first few days of the invasion, they weren't letting black people on trains to leave the country. They made them get off for white people. And like that type of stuff, as a black person, I don't like to bring my race into much stuff, but I'm like, they can die. So, you know, I just don't care. I shouldn't say die because I'd be wrong, but my sympathy isn't just there for them. It really isn't there. But, you know, I'm sure they'll be fine. You know, I saw them going to beaches and stuff, even though there was a war going on. it just feels weird at this point to keep giving them so much money when they're not kind of invested in the country themselves. But that's my own personal opinion. You can disagree with it. Be fine disagreeing with it, okay? And hey, Matt, I hope you're doing well. Third parties needed. We're trying to have a third party system out here in the States. It's not going so well. I think it's called what is it? It has a trendy name. Third party news. No labels. That's it. No labels. Okay, so no labels. News Nation, AZ Central. I don't know any of these people. Maybe this one. No Labels Movement says it could offer independent president ticket in 2024. Let's see. The State Board of Elections voted 4-1 on Sunday to recognize the No Labels Party as an official North Carolina party following a successful petition effort. That's good. Let's see. I don't think they have I don't think they have presidential candidates set up yet. We are the common sense majority. Join the movements. No, I never give them my email because then they just want money, 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 and money. Get Larry Hogan. No, he's not good. I think when you have a new movement, you can't have the people that are divisive and going after the other people. Insurance policy 2024. No, it's not giving me what I'm looking for, but basically, if Trump and Biden are like the people at the end of the day that get Republican and Democratic nominees, they're gonna try to put another person that says, hey, this person sucks, hey, this person sucks, choose me. But when it comes down to the actual fact of governing, how does that person work with Republicans or Democrats? Because as soon as that person, left or right, that shows up, because they're going to have a political background if they're going to be in that No Labels party, because it's all kind of like political elites building it. If they go even slightly towards the left or slightly towards the right, then everybody on the right will be like, see, they're really a liberal in disguise. And everybody on the right, if they do the other way, everybody on the left will be like, hey, they're a Republican in disguise. It's freaking wild right now. Our system isn't built like that. It should be, but there's too much corruption, right? And hey, Six, did I hear about the Uniswap case? Yeah, I saw a little bit about it. I think it was on Watcher Guru. I think we just talked about this. Yeah. Just in, this is 10 hours ago, U.S. court calls Bitcoin and Ethereum commodities while dismissing a lawsuit against the Uniswap DeFi platform. Yeah, that was one there. Let me just see if I can read this. Oh, I just wanted to read the okay, whatever. Okay. Let me just zoom in here a little bit more for you guys. Zoom. Ah, there we go. Okay. Contracts here were themselves able to be carried out lawfully, as with exchange of crypto commodities, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. There's a whole bunch of law in here as well. Let's see. Accordingly, the court finds that defendants' underlying core and router contracts were collateral to the scam token activity, which occurred subject to token issuers' activity, and for at least some, the issuer drafted smart contracts and constituted the sort of tangential activity that falls outside of. Okay, that's the end of it. Okay, I was trying to read ahead, but definitely was not working out in my mind. But yeah, that was the big news there. We're getting mixed signals from all types of court systems. It's a mess. There's no clear. Nobody's taking the lead on this in Congress, so we just don't know what to do, and the courts don't know what to do. Eventually, I feel like this just has to go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court can say like, okay, this is not a security, it's a security, blah, yada yada yada. see. NADs, people in SEA is thriving. Where is SEA? Senegal? Maybe Seattle? I don't know. The pay is not that good, but people can still buy Yusuf. It depends on where you're at. So, it depends. At this point, at least, I think, at least for a lot of people in the West, we have access to credit cards. I think that's what's really gearing up our country. I think the average person in America has about $6,000 worth of debt right now, which is kind of high if you ask me, but heck, I mean, you know, maybe people can pay it down really easily. I think if I'm being honest, I maybe have about $3,500 of credit card debt as of today, after I kind of bought some video games, adding it up a little bit. I got my new ID, or I got a new ID today, but it won't be given to me for like a couple weeks in the mail. But yeah, you know, I can pay that down. I'm paying it off this weekend, but what do you call, some people can't pay it off within a weekend, right? Oh, news on the India solar play, R&W, the Indian government is reimbursing them on building everything 3 gig a year to 2030, 13.7 gigawatts currently, 13.7 billion assets. Yeah, see, if you can, did you ever find an ETF? I tried to find one. I think it was the following morning after our talk, and I couldn't find anything good. Unless everything seemed to be behind a paywall, I should say that. There might have been something, but it looked like it was behind a paywall where I just could not find it. With the coming regulations and crackdown on crypto, I see DeFi exploding this cycle in the coming years. Definitely, something's blocking your word. It's something options. Dex's thoughts. It's for fuck's sake. Okay. Yep. Okay, there we go. There we go. I really have no idea when the market's just gonna blow up and take off again. Every time we think we have something really good going for us, it really just gets knocked back down over time. And we're kind of seeing that happen in real time here. The trend is still up, so I'm still pretty optimistic of where we can go. But at this point in time, the best way to make money in the long term is just to own cryptocurrencies, right? You like buy some Bitcoin every few weeks, buy some Ethereum every few weeks, you know, buy some Dogecoin, ADA, Matic every few weeks and be happy with it. Just don't overdo your buying, because eventually when you have these big crashing days, that's where I usually like to buy up some, like, okay, I'll buy some up now, and and I'll wait and I'll hold it. You put it into a wallet and you just patiently wait for it to go up in the future. Right now, we don't really have much, what do you even want to call it? Clarity on the regulations, you know? And so I agree, once we get that clarity, crypto will go sky high once the system is in place. The system's just not in place yet, and I just have no time frame on when that's actually going to occur. But what do you call it? Yeah, it'll be interesting going forward. I do think regulation is going to be helpful. There are a lot of people who don't like regulation. I like regulation to an extent, I guess you could say, just because we have so little. But if we need, the government needs to get this right, and if they don't, crypto is going to suffer for a little bit longer than it should have to before we make a good amount of money here. I would still say though, like the safest way that I've planned everything out is dollar cost average, dollar cost average, dollar cost average. Buy a little bit here, buy a little bit there. That way you're not really messing around too much with all these crazy moves, right? I mean, like, again, we're back to where we were in June of 2023, or you could say we're all the way back to where we were in March of 2023. All right. So a lot of the progress that we've made over the past 5 months, 6 months, it's all kind of gone. We've just kind of been going sideways. And to be frank, I'm okay with Bitcoin just going sideways. I know everybody wants it to just go up and up and up, but that's why I tend to zoom out a lot for you guys. I'm like, hey, don't worry about it. You know, it'll pick up whenever it wants to pick up. Until then, we can kind of watch some of these smaller moves. And then, you know, maybe we're buying down here, maybe we're buying down here or here or here. You know, it doesn't matter. But, you know, I'm still holding a lot of the stuff I bought down here. I'm still holding a lot of stuff I bought over here. I'm buying a lot of stuff I bought over here. The stuff I bought over here, you guess what? Bitcoin is pretty much the same. Maybe Ethereum is the same, but like, let me just show you guys something here. This is during the Celsius crash, I believe. So May 9th of 2022. Okay, let's go over here to Ethereum. May 9th. We're lower than that for Ethereum. ADA. There you go. We're way lower than that. Right, way lower than that on ADA. Dogecoin. I guess this is a special case because Dogecoin went up so high relative to everything else. But still, actually, we're pretty darn close to it. Dogecoin has been holding up so well, guys. I don't think people can understand how well this has been holding up. It really has been a surprise. XRP over here, we're above it because we had the good news. XRP never really went as high during the big market though, because of all the court case stuff, I guess. Ape token, June, May 9th. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty far away. So, you know, there's that reason why I tell you the majority of the stuff I tend to buy happens to be Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, I buy other stuff as well. You guys know I do, but I have there's a reason why you put more of it, I guess, you know, into those safer coins, or why we think of them as safer tokens like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay, so just be careful of how you want to enter the market. But usually what I like to go to is I like to go to the tried and true stuff. I buy a bunch of Matic, I buy a lot of Bitcoin Cash, a lot of the one that has a low market cap, Compound, because it's on Robinhood. I buy a lot of that stuff because it's on Robinhood. You can see back over here, May 9th, or slightly below, but not as bad. Stuff like this are things that I like, but it's my rules about, like, you know, what can you buy on a Webull and stuff like that. I have specific rules, and I've made videos about them in the past. But you just have to be kind of careful out there. And to me, what that means is if you're buying altcoins right now, you're actually getting a pretty good discount. It's not saying like, oh, altcoins have been going down so much, don't buy them at all. It just means, hey, you know, you're still looking at some pretty good price action right now as far as altcoins for your long-term portfolios. If you guys don't want to hold crypto for long-term, then, you know, you guys are going to be more trading, of course. But, you know, just go through the altcoins weekly chart. XLM had a nice little pop. Pepe is about to break down. Oh, it is breaking down. This is going to be a pretty bloody one. Arbitrum had a really good move. ID token. That's Bitcoin. UFO token. Breaking down. And I own UFO. I've been dollar cost averaging this for a while. I had a really nice trade here on BitGet back when it was the United States. I made a shit ton of money buying low here and riding it up for a couple of months because it was like a 10x, 20x leverage play. But you know what? I added a lot of that back in, a lot of the profit back here at dollar cost averaging here, and I'm still buying it. Still buying it, right? But it's been going down and down and down. So at a certain point, I'm going to hold off, you know, on buying it until we get another really big flush, and I'll buy some more. But again, it's not like I'm spending thousands and thousands of dollars on these tokens. You know, I'm spending hundreds of dollars on these tokens. A spell token, same thing. I made some money over here, some money over here. I buy a little bit in there. The one I like the most is oh, it's not on here for some reason. No, it's not. It's STMX, right? I've been buying this thing for a while. Now, I guess I started way back over here. This is kind of back actually with the May area. Buy some there, buy some there, buy some there, buy some there. Now, buy some there. Now, to be frank, I have had some fun, like, selling some of this stuff off. Like, I bought some over here, I sold it over here, I sold some over there, and I put it back right in there or later on, and I was able to buy more tokens for it. This thing is pretty volatile. My point being, though, each token has its own little cycles, I guess. But you know, altcoins are definitely good for buying, but just understand, altcoins look very, very rough right now. Like, just again, let's just go back over here to Ethereum Classic. Very, very nasty right now. If Bitcoin goes down, you're going to see altcoins like whatever I just pulled up here. I don't know if it was Matic or something. You're just going to see them flush below those levels of support. That's a 10, 15%, 20% bad day for that altcoin. I'm going to do some dollar cost averaging. on that day. And then if for whatever reason the price builds up afterwards, maybe I'll take some profit and put some of the money back into Matic so I have the same amount of coins, but now I've made some money off of it. So there's a whole bunch of ways to do it, but Bitcoin's much higher than a lot of altcoins, and people don't seem to realize that for some reason. Because, I follow a lot of people on Twitter, and people talk about it a lot, but, there's not too much Bitcoin technical analysis out there these days because there's not enough money in it. And I guess a lot of crypto people have stopped doing crypto because they don't know how to make money off of it properly, I guess. Or the market just not been as interesting for them. One of the two. Thanks, Leia. Let me know if you do, because if there's a way to do it, I would be very, very happy with making some money off of some of those plays, because the Indian market is going to get so much fun. Just so much money is going to pour in there as we're leaving China, which will be interesting. Especially with them being so close to Africa and the Middle East as well. There's a lot of trade possibilities for India if they can just harness it, I guess. Do I use I do not use that. Thoughts on GMX? I don't know what GMX is. GMX. Oh. There you go. There's two GMXs. I don't exactly know which one it is. Price one day, it's fallen down a lot. Let's see, all back down to what it was June. It's not terrible. Wow, okay, so it looks like it only got into Binance in 2022, so we can't see all the previous stuff, so it's going to be a little bit more mixed here. Let's go to daily chart. Yeah, this is definitely not going the direction you want, but the same thing could be said for the majority of the tokens we're talking about today, right? Let's go back over here very fast. Let's see, did we actually bounce off of one of these? Yeah, you pretty much hit that one mark that I like to close my positions at. So came back up here a little bit, not too much there. Pretty nice support level. All right, so in the short term here, it is at a decent support level. Nothing too crazy is going on. I'm betting there's something going on here now. Maybe Binance is going to give me a little bit weirder numbers, but yeah, there we go, right there at the Fibonacci levels. This is at a decent level to buy if you want to. Your stop loss is going to be around $34.60, which is about 40 cents on the, per coin here. Not bad at all. You had to change a character there. Let me pop over to this one. Let me just see some of the oscillators. Let's go to daily charts for now, because the momentum must be going down, right? Let's see. This momentum is going up, which isn't terrible after it's come down so much, not too much divergence. My personal one is, yeah, it's not crossed over just yet, but let's see. You might be more inclined to buy this actually when it just comes back up to the above the 20-day moving average. For right now, that level looks fine to be buying at. Oops, that's not the one I wanted. I wanted the stochastic. Yeah, there we go. Stochastic had a negative crossover. That's not good. Still in a squeeze release here on the bearish side, so that's not good. On the daily chart, there's not too many reasons to be buying, to be frank. Yeah, not much. I would say you're probably looking better at the 1 hour charts, perhaps. Maybe some bullish divergences here, maybe. The crossover is about to happen. That'd be nice there. Not much of a divergence, though. This one lags a little bit more than it should for an hour chart, but yeah, I haven't had the crossover here. Actually, that was a pretty nice one right there. Stochastic. This might be a nice move if you want to trade it for the next 10-12 hours. Double check. Squeeze is still going on the opposite side. Momentum hasn't really changed too much. 15 minutes, has it back up a little bit? Yeah, that's where it is. Yeah, it's giving me more mixed signals. I'd be more cautious about the trade, but I would say you should be okay trying to go long on this for the next 10-12 hours. with the stop loss of that, what did I say, a 34, it was like 20 cents or something, 34.80, 34.60 range. That'd be the best way to go about it. Normally for me, I would wait a little bit longer, wait for those bullish signals to kind of come through the oscillators, and then you're kind of looking like, okay, we're good to go. Maybe you're just actually waiting for it to break above 35.60, but if you want to, you can buy now, have that short-term stop loss, and then you're just like, hey, I go to bed, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And you're probably going to have only a 60% chance of making money if you guys would buy now. If you have that confirmation over the next few hours, like, hey, maybe we break out of there, and then we also break out above this level of resistance, and this one, you know, you're going to have much more of a much more comfort knowing you're going to have a better chance of making money, I guess you would say, right? I'm going heavy in H-bar. There you go. See, everybody has their own tokens. Just do your research, and I'm sure you've done your research. You should be fine. And hey, day trading isn't my job. I make enough money day trading to live, if that's what you're talking about, but I would say it's not necessarily, like, I feel like YouTube is my job nowadays. Day trading doesn't take up as much of my life as, I guess, YouTube, but I guess I make more money doing YouTube. I make more money doing day trading than I do YouTube. Yeah, so I mean, I guess you could call it my job because it brings home the bacon, I guess. Yeah, you could say it like that. What are my thoughts on LRC? Last time we talked about that one, wasn't it just coming down over and over and over again? This is Bitfinex. Let's see. Still coming down. You're at a large level of support. It did make a new low here, which kind of sucks. Let's see. Bullish momentum building slowly. Yeah, I don't really need that last one there. You got some bullish momentum, so you might have an opportunity for it to have maybe one more pop back up here towards what, like 18.5 to 19 cents. This one looks like it may flush down one more time here if Bitcoin just takes that another drop down to $24,000 or $25,000. You're probably going to see this flush back down here to maybe 16.5 cents at least. Let me zoom out a little bit though. Actually, let me just do this so I can actually have everything in my chart at once so I can see what's going on. Yeah, it's not really honoring any of the Fibonacci levels here, but it'll match up with this support. So it might actually end up coming over the next few weeks back down to 12 cents, which is a pretty big drop. That's, what is that? 29% drop. So be careful with that one. But there is a large level of support over here from back over here, back to over here. Oh, yeah, back over here. My head's not blocking good. To over here, to over here. There's a big block right there. So I think that'd be a good place to really try to go in there on 13 cents, maybe 13, 14, 12 cents. I would say 13 to 14 cents is going to be fine to buy into that zone if you're looking for like a multi-week hold. But yeah, get ready for maybe a flush out to happen over the next few weeks here. Back over on the weekly chart, it held it for a little bit of time. It tried to hold it here, tried to break out there, wasn't able to. So there is some resistance there. Let me just pop up this smaller Fibonacci retracement level and see if that works out for us. Yeah, this one's also around 12.86, so maybe 13 cents is that golden zone right here. You just have that death cross there, that golden cross, and do squat for it. Daily chart here. No golden cross happening anytime soon there. Yeah, I would say be careful of this over the next few weeks unless you're looking to short it down. If you're looking to buy at this point, you can probably buy around this 18.01 level, and your stop loss is just going to be probably right around here, about 17, 18. What is that going to be though? Is that going to be a lot? Feels like it. Yeah, 4.9% stop loss. Yeah, it's gonna be quite a bit, but I would use very low leverage if you're trying to use this. Preferably not even use leverage at all, because it's gonna be that difficult. Maybe 2x to 3x max on these types of leverage plays. All right. But okay, buddy, I'm going to call it a night right now. I got to head over to the hospital to go see my mother. Hope you guys are all having a good day. I know the market wasn't too good. I'll find out some more news for you guys tomorrow, and I'll be putting out a lot more videos for you guys here as well. That way you guys can just keep on top of the trends, basically, because we all know that this SEC is going crazy right now, and the courts have to keep on stepping in to make them act right, but they're still not acting properly. Thanks again.